Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Lithuania, first of all. I am Giedrius Valutskas. I am having experience of 20 years working with the manufacturing projects and development. I'm also chairman of the board of Automotive Cluster, as well as member of the board of the Association, Engineering Association of Lithuania. And today we have the topic of electric vehicle. So it's a very interesting topic since electric vehicle market has grown fantastically in recent years. We speak about new projects, about new materials, new components, about the prolongation of battery cells life, about infrastructure, charging, and so on. And actually, we as businessmen speak about opportunities. And today is one of the opportunity between Lithuanian and Taiwanese businessmen to make a next step with the networking. And I hope it will be really great success. So I would like to ask for the opening remark the Vice Minister of Economic Affairs of Taiwan, Mr. Chen Shi-chen, to make the opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We found this is a great opportunity for we, the Taiwanese entrepreneurs, to come here. The trip to coming here, two significant points. The number one, we want to strengthen our ties with Lithuania because we share the same value, and then we understand Lithuania is the first in Europe trying to develop a like-minded supply chain. And number two, with electric vehicles, it's my government policy to develop electric vehicles in response to the call for 2050 carbon neutrality. And we understand China actually is the largest producer of electric vehicles, also the largest market for electric vehicles. But after 40 years of globalization, we thought, according to comparative advantage, everything should be made everywhere. But we found everything is made in one place. So it's everybody, every government's wish to diversify. So we should form our collaborations in order to build a very resilient and democratic, value-based supply chain. And here with me, we have a delegation from Taiwan. They are composed of like a TITRA. TITRA is our foremost and biggest trade promotion body. Simon Wang, who is the Deputy Secretary General of TITRA. We also have TIMA. We have Mr. Yu. He is a director of the board in TIMA. TIMA stands for Taiwan Electric and Electronic Manufacturers Association. It's the largest electronic trade association. All the brand name you heard about Taiwan, be Acer, AUO, Quanta, Eventech, all are his members. Okay, and then we have a Deputy Secretary General, Roger. Roger is with TIMA as well. We also have Yuanjin. Yuanjin is a semiconductor company. Is here? I haven't met him. Okay, we have AUO. AUO used to be the largest flat panel producer. They have the most state-of-the-art technology in producing flat panels. You know, now the next generation of vehicle is computer on wheels. So the flat panel is very important components. We also have a Taiwan intelligent driving. Taiwan 智驾, yes. They developed technology of a driverless and self-driving car. We also have Dingfeng. Okay, that's Mr. Yu. We also have创奕it's an energy company. They developed the best energy saving equipment and facilities. So it's a battery and also a solar panel, solar modules. We also have a tourist company, Xiongshi. Oh, he's not here. Okay, we have last but not the least, Foxconn. Okay, Foxconn is the largest EMS in the world. Okay, and let me, before I conclude, let me also report to you in Taiwan how we develop our electric vehicle industry. We are shooting for open system. So like Fastcom is leading a platform for all the electric vehicles components company to use Fastcom develop a prototype car. You can test your components. You can test your key components or your parts there in order to showcase to the potential electric vehicle producer they will use your products. TIMA is leading another open system. So we have a most important electric vehicle platform organizer here with us. It's Fastcom and TIMA. So I encourage you to engage and socialize with our members of the team. Then we should start, as of today, our future cooperation relations. And I wish the symposium a great success. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Some little rules. We're going to speak into the microphones because we have also the virtual meeting here so that the other people who are connected virtually could hear us. Also for the Taiwanese businessmen, if you will need some kind of information or some network, you can always contact me. Later, maybe we will exchange the cards so we can try to help you. Okay, and today we're going to start with the presentations then. So the first presenter will be Mr. Ignas Mikutis, who is a CEO of Elinta Charge. I will read short bio about Ignas until you will prepare. But I need to use the microphone, sorry. Ignas has been leading Elinta Charge manufacturer of Red Hot Design award-winning electric vehicle chargers since its spun off from Elinta Group in 2018. Previously, he collected significant experience in energy sector as energy efficient expert at the largest electricity grid operator in his home country, Lithuania, ESO, as well as consultant of ESCO companies. Everyone knew he is passionate for clean tech and e-mobility, therefore he was invited to become CEO of Elinta Charge right after he left his previous role. His strong background in energy sector enables him to steer Elinta Charge in a way that it lays the foundations for durable e-mobility and tackle one of the biggest concerns about e-mobility, power efficiency and smart grid capabilities in both public and private charging spaces. So this is some kind of intro for you. And the topic of today is laying the foundation of durable e-mobility and Elinta Charge case study.
Okay, thank you very much. These long words, nice words, were not written by myself. It probably my colleague did, but excuse for that. But you got some new info I didn't know myself, probably. So as in the intro was mentioned, e-mobility as an important sector for probably globally, but in Taiwan as well as in Lithuania. And probably you all know that e-mobility starts from infrastructure, or at least it's very, very important element in ecosystem of e-mobility. So we as Elinta Charge are developers and producers of AC chargers for electric cars. So I'm gonna present our philosophy and some more info about the company and the markets we work with. So first of all, very often we hear that electric cars is the future. I'm not sure whether you can hear the same, saying in Taiwan, but at least in Europe or in Lithuania, we often hear, okay, this is the future. And with this slide, I want to say, like, the data shows that last year, 2020, there was 1 month when the registrations of electrified vehicles, including plug-ins, was the same or even higher than diesel cars. And that's a big shift, especially in our region, which is kind of in love with diesel cars. So I often repeat myself and correct others by saying, look, this is not the future, this is present. And we have to live with that, and we have to utilize this. Another thing, in e-mobility, what we find that very often people, consumers, newcomers are focused on question, how fast will I charge my car? And that comes from our experience and habit to fill in the gas tank in 2-3 minutes. And this is what we, or many of us, have expected from electric cars, which is not necessarily the case because electricity hardly comes in such huge speed. And those who drive electric cars, I do myself, knows that the majority of charging sessions happen at home or at work or at so-called destination chargers where the purpose of the trip is not charging itself, but doing something else. And because there is a infrastructure at shopping mall, hotel, or whatever it is, we charge our cars as well. And it's very logical, actually, if you think, because passenger cars are parked 22-23 hours per day, because otherwise we have to work drivers if we are driving more hours. So all this time, even in slow speed of charging, it's more than enough to charge quite a big battery. Some data which I guess you are familiar with, but the big companies as McKinsey, Bloomberg are predicting that the transition will be huge. But another thing is important to mention, that this transition won't happen in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. So we cannot look at it as a bubble. It won't be a bubble. It will take 10 years, 20 years, maybe even more, 30 or 40. So the earlier we start preparing ourselves, the more we start working on this, the better results we as companies will, or the countries, achieve. Similarly with the chargers. Even though I started by saying like the beginning of everything is charging infrastructure, but in reality, usually charging infrastructure comes behind the electric cars. So usually people or companies firstly buy electric car and then they think about, okay, what to do with the infrastructure, or at least they take a decision to buy electric car and then they say, okay, where will I charge it? So it would be naive to expect that we will be in a situation when there are plenty of EV chargers, but very little number of electric cars. So we have to accept that charging infrastructure will follow the electric cars, and that's also probably a message to governments to encourage electric vehicles, maybe together with the infrastructure, but we as users should expect it following. More about us as Elinta Charge. We produce premium products, which is probably not for everyone in terms of their quality and price. And price is often a thing, which reduces the number of the chargers you can sell or the products. But comparing to the car brands, we say we are Mercedes, BMW, but we are not Lamborghini or Ferrari. So we are not luxury, we are premium, and at the same time we are not like Dacia or some other lower brands. I'm not sure how familiar you are with these European manufacturers, but so we are focused on aesthetics with the timeless design. We got Red Dot Design Award in 2018 in Germany. Also, we are really focused on engineering part. We do not go into compromises by choosing cheaper components or some other tricky solutions, let's say. We use well-known components as Siemens, Phoenix Contact, Mennekes, etc. Also, charger itself is Internet of Things item. So all our chargers are smart, especially when we talk about public or semi-public chargers, which go in the municipalities or business centers, etc. So all of them are connected. All of them have lots of functionality, balancing power, dynamic load management, etc. And also what is in these times quite unique, that we have everything in-house, R&D, manufacturing. Therefore, we are capable to react quickly when there are tech support issues or questions. Okay, a little bit of history of Elinta Charge. We, as a company, we are quite young, 3 years old, but we are spin-off from Elinta Group. Therefore, and Elinta Group started experimenting in e-mobility in 2011, 2012. And out of these experiments, 2 companies have born. One is Elinta Motors, producing powertrains for electric trucks and buses. And next speaker, Edvardas, will present partner, Altas, of Elinta Motors. And we are Elinta Charge producing AC chargers. So by saying that, I want to say that we, even though we are a startup as a company, but we have a quite long-lasting experience in the industry. Okay, sorry. Currently, we work nearly with the 30 countries, mostly in Europe. Beyond Europe, it's Israel, Australia. We have sold some chargers in Hong Kong. Now we have leads in South Africa, talking with Japan. Now Taiwan goes in this line of Far East, I guess, would be like South Korea, Taiwan, Japan, Hong Kong. Also, we have some negotiations with the United States for partners from there. Some of our customers or some of the companies who are using our chargers. And portfolio of our chargers, even though there are many more modifications, but like from the surface, they look like that. So City Charge line is dedicated for public charging and semi-public charging, whereas Homebox line is for home chargers, for home use. And yeah, in Taiwan, there are some, okay, maybe I will. Yeah, so these are technical details about the charger. In Europe context, it kind of meets all the requirements for Europe countries. In Taiwan, as far as I know, it's type 1 connector. So there are some, there should be some changes implemented. So as I understand, Taiwan has a electricity system more similar to United States, but this is what I have to find out later probably. And as I said, all chargers, public chargers, are connected to internet. So they are also integrable with the other systems. And Virta, Drives, Plug Surfing, Fortum, these are the so-called EMSPs, e-mobility service providers. And if some of the markets are really far away, or if our client wants to connect to other backend system than ours, that's totally possible via standardized protocol OCPP 1.6. However, we have our own backend system, which also enables to see all our chargers wherever they are, and to provide this technical support remotely. And in many cases, it's not technical issue with the charger, but if you cannot see it, it's hard to consult, and sometimes it's just behavior of the user of the charger. And this is what we can see sitting here in Lithuania, and if they provide certain rights to their customers or to their employees, etc. And functions as power balancing, as dynamic load management, all are done via cloud, via our backend system. Front end is mobile app. So we went one step further by providing after-sales services. For example, helping our customers to charge for charging. And mobile app enables us to collect money via payment gateways, via integration with the payment gateways, and also to show where the chargers are on the map and do some other functions. Yeah, so I guess that was the my quick presentation about company and the solutions we have, and very much looking forward to the questions whenever time is for that. Okay, thank you.
Ignas, very much. Answering your question, yes, we have some agents, collecting information about everybody. So we have also short intro to the next, our speaker. And I forgot also to mention that in the end of the panel, it will be the question session. And for those who are connected remotely, you can make it via chat. And also here in the hall, so we will use just a microphone. So the next speaker is Mr. Edvardas Radzevičius, who is the CEO of Altas Auto. And Edvardas, he is a visionary entrepreneur and successful business developer with over 20 years of experience in the automotive industry. He is the leading Altas Commercial Transport, that is an international manufacturer of minibuses, as well as supplier of ambulance cars. So each year, the company produces almost 700 minibuses for urban, suburban, and intercity passenger transportation across Western, Central, and Eastern Europe, as well as Scandinavia. Member of the Presidium of Engineering Industries Association of Lithuania, Rimpra. So we are colleagues. So, and today, he will present the characteristics and perspectives of electric minibuses. So, Altas.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a very pleasure to meet our guest from Taiwan. So for me, it's his first time to meet guests for so important country for us. As probably we have more or less similar issues with the bigger neighbors nearby us. So then I would like to present very shortly about the possibilities of our cooperation, how we see that it would be possible for all of us, the smaller countries, if we can join our forces. Because we are really commercial company, very concentrated to make a business. We are not like startups, making different projects. We are more focusing on the market where we are playing. Our main market is Europe. So here you see our products, our main product portfolio. So as Giedrius told, so we are mostly working with the minibus segment, minibus segment, up to 30 places, up to 30 passengers. And sometimes more locally in the nearest regions, we are working with the special vehicle projects like police cars, ambulances, and other special vehicles. So because the main idea of our business is conversion connected to the basic vehicles, so our main partners are the vehicle manufacturers like Mercedes, MAN, or Iveco. At the same time, so with a little bit smaller quantities, we are working with the Fiat, Volkswagen, or Opel. So that's probably known brands in all the world. So, and idea is that we take the basic vehicle from them, like specially prepared for the second stage conversion manufacturing, and we are finalizing the complete vehicle already, focusing on the final customer, trying to understand what is here really is in demand of that particular customer. So that means that our industry or our business is very individual, prepared for very individual needs and requirements. And our R&D department, I would say the biggest advantage for us, and I would say the most problematic issue in this field, because as you understand, the vehicles, the passenger transportation should be very strictly regulated, because there is a question with the safety of the passengers and all the rest people having that being in the transport. So that's why we have very strict requirements from Europe Union. We have very strict rules and locally here from the Ministry of Lithuanian Transport. And to have that knowledge, to make those tests and all certification in our country, so that is a very big advantage. And having those certificates, we can easily register our vehicles, already finally converted vehicles, into all Europe without any additional processes. So So I would say that is critically important to present vehicles in and to registrate. So here there is an example of our, I would say, most complicated developments. Like we presented a few years ago, our first Lithuanian mid-size vehicle, touristic vehicle, up to 30 places, based on Iveco chassis, Italian brand, but all design, all idea on the development and all the final serious production was organized in our company with our resources. So here is another project where we are proud of cooperation with the MAN. Probably you know MAN is a very known brand working with the commercial, heavy-duty commercial industry, and they are biggest their products are big, large trucks or large buses, but they don't have experience working with the minibuses, with the mini-size segment. So that's why we had that cooperation with them a few years ago. We started development of those 3 mini-size buses, city bus, intercity, and coach. And we developed those products, and now we have a serious production for those products, and we are proud that MAN as an organization, they sell those products through all the world through their sales network as an original MAN, but in general, really it is produced in our company. So what is our advantage? Another advantage is the production in the line. So that, as I told, that we are working in the very niche segment business, and the market is not so big, but and all our requests from the customers are very individual. But having that knowledge and using that lean process management, so we have reached quite good results, and we can really manage different size projects. We can take very individual orders, or we can take a bigger amount of projects, trying to separate by very individual requirements what the customer is require. So our numbers, for sure, we were very strongly affected by pandemic. So you see that the numbers were significantly reduced the last year, but now we see that the market is growing, and we see that we still have more capacities and more capabilities to produce even bigger volumes. And most of our products we produce for export. As Giedrius told, our main market is Europe Union. We have 18 representatives in Europe Union, so they represent our products. And probably, as I told, this market, minibus segment, is not so big. We have around 20,000 new vehicles registered every year. But having in mind that public transportation dramatically changing last years, and probably everybody understand that in the future there will be some autonomous driving, self-driving vehicles. So we're expecting that this market will increase. So here there is examples of our last products together with Elinta Motors. There's example how we use that existing vehicle, changing it with a fully electric drive vehicle. So that means that we take the standard chassis, we take the Mercedes or MAN chassis, we remove all the equipment what is not necessary. So that means the engine, gearboxes, and so on, the transmission, and we fully update it or integrate the electric powertrain. So that means the batteries, all the electric engines, and all the other equipment. And we expect that already next year we will reach up to 20% of our production with the fully electric vehicles. And for sure, everybody understands that that is the future for public transportation, and not only public transportation, but of course we are concentrating in this field. But at this moment, we are very focused to present this product to the Western European partners, as everybody understands that it is only the very new product, and everybody should test it and try to investigate the possibilities of driving. And there is example of school bus what we have developed as well. So here, with this presentation, I would like to once again to tell you that we have a knowledge working in the European market. We have an aim working in that market, and for sure, for us, it's very important to connect your knowledge in this field with our knowledge of our market, and that would be probably a big chance to grow of all of our parts. So thank you for attention.
Yeah, I would like to also a little bit use your Edvardas slides. It was, if I can catch it, I think 9 slides, it's too fast, to explain the identity also of the Lithuania, since you are here. So you can see that Lithuania is very interesting for the different markets, because we serve different markets. The Scandinavia, which is here, and Western Europe, which is there. And also there is the Eastern market. So we are as a hub working with different markets, and we see our future to work as a hub, since the orders are coming from that market to our country. They are produced and exported here, and vice versa, mostly. Some components are coming from Asia. So since business environment in Lithuania is one of the best in Europe, and it's cheaper to produce here, that's why Lithuania is becoming the hub and the center for entering this market. So thank you very much, Edvardas. And now we will come to our friends and colleagues. Presentations. So it will be the next presentation of Mr. Richard Huang, and who is the chairman of the Tron Energy Technology Corporation. Mr. Richard, he has 25 years of experience in the field of semiconductor manufacturing and marketing, and over 10 years on innovative research of cathode materials, battery system, of rechargeable energy storage system, and e-bus. So Mr. Richard will present the topic of the electrification and automation of public transportation, the advantages of Taiwan's industry, and the role of Taiwanese manufacturers can play. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm Richard Huang from Taiwan创奕. Okay, my pleasure to have this opportunity to introduce the Taiwan e-bus industry. So this is a PDF file, so I need to face the screen more. Okay. Taiwan, the government is very promoting in the e-bus industry, and the government plan to invest around $1 billion to support to develop this industry. And our goal is to make all around 16,000 city bus become electrified before 2030. It's now just around 700 here the May of this year. So it means that every year we have over 1,000 of the electric bus on the road. As everyone knows, Taiwan is very famous in the semiconductor and ICT industry. So Taiwan have lots of the component and the system to support the electric vehicle. For example, as the Tesla the supply chain, there are total 29 companies in 5 different systems to support each part of the component for the Tesla system. They are including the car electric and the motor, battery system, body, and the charging system. The same as in the electric bus supply chain, we have many of the charger company. They supply in domestic domestic party marketing and also the overseas market. And we have many different companies focused on the powertrain, like battery management system, and vehicle control, motor, and motor control and motor. So lots of companies focus on this area. We also focus on some other area. And Taiwan have several of the electric bus manufacturers.创奕is one of these. Besides the hardware, Taiwan also have lots of the software system to support the electric vehicle. We have the cloud-based free management system, and we also support different kind of the subsystem like a T-bus, small dashboard, display, mobile app to let all the mobility as a service become true. And this kind of the solution can apply in different kind of the vehicles. And also we have so many design house. They design the sensor IC and generate the sensor module to support different kind of ADAS system.创奕is just one of the manufacturer of the electric bus in Taiwan. We are set up in 2011, and in the beginning we are focused on the battery material. So we have cathode and anode, and later we will jump in the battery pack system. And till the 2016, our first electric bus launched in the market. And within 3 years, we are the #1 market share in Taiwan. It's around 40 to 50%. And at the same time, we start to involve in the autonomous bus research. And from the 2019, we start to supply the energy storage system for the peak load shifting and auto frequency control for the power grid. Our Taiwan's manufacturing base in Taoyuan. We have around 600 electric bus production capacity. Our product is mainly focused on the electric bus, battery system, ITS system, autonomous bus, and the energy storage system. There's some of the future of the创奕bus. I think we are most focused on how to keep the battery with a long life, because for the e-vehicle, the battery the cost will occupy around 30 to 40% of the cost. So how to make the battery cost become longer will reduce the average year's cost. So we have a patent liquid cooling battery system. And we can minimize each cell's variation after long running. So it can keep a longer battery lifespan. And our energy efficiency is lower in the market. Because for this, we can use a small battery but can run the same distance. So our bus from the 2016 till now have around 5 to 6 years. We have over 15 million kilometers, miles, and with a very good condition here. And we use the cloud-based monitor system real time to control all the electric bus, and for our engineer to do the pre-maintenance and for R&D to implement each component. This is an example of the real-time monitor system, and because of this system, our electric bus the uptime is around 99.5. Everyone know the city bus is the most heavy using for every in all of the electric vehicle. It's around from the morning around 5 o'clock to the midnight. So how to keep the reliability is very important. Till end of this year, we will have around 300 electric buses in Taiwan. Beside the Taiwan market, I think we follow our government's policy. We focus on in the past several years, we focus on the South Asia and India market. So we set up a branch in Singapore. There are many work on the autonomous projects. And we have a joint venture in India, Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia. What we are doing is we are not sell the whole bus. Because for the city bus, every country they have a local content, and they want to support their local manufacturer. So we just based on our partner capability, we support them to let them manufacturing from the original diesel bus to become the electric bus maker. Okay. This is an example in Indonesia. Our bus is running in Indonesia. Indonesia is very many cities. We work with the Inca because this is already announced in the newspaper. So Inca is a government-owned company. They have maybe have 5,000 employees. Indonesia government want to promoting the electricity bus. So this government-owned company start to manufacturing the electric bus, and we help them. We give them design, giving the powertrain, and let them produce the bus called Innotrong. You use their brand. Okay. So I see for next year, I think we're around 100 of the electric bus running in the Jakarta and Bali. India is also a very huge market, and India government they have arms called FAN 2 and want to subsidize 7,000 electric bus, and another FAN 3 will come out this year. There's another 20,000 electric bus will be subsidized. So we work with a very big group in India, and they are the big user of the electric vehicles. They management almost 65 airports and many of large industry parks. So we help them to set up a joint venture company to manufacturing the electric bus in India. They are usually located in Gujarat. And also we work with Taiwan's AUO to support the three-wheels powertrain for the Indian market. India also subsidy 500 in the FAN 2, 500,000 of the three-wheel vehicles. This is for their taxi. In Thailand, we just we work with the Turing. We just deliver 3 of the autonomous vehicle to Thailand, and our city bus they're just in progress. So we'll also deliver in the end of this year, and we set up with our partner in Thailand to have a bus and also the three-wheel vehicles, and also the energy storage system. In Singapore, Singapore is a very open market, and they don't have manufacturing in there. So we just manufacturing outside of Singapore, in Malaysia, and ship to Singapore. So we have several of the products we'll launch next year. Malaysia, we work with their government green fund and several R&D center very nearby the KL. So there's a factory, and we produce many electric buses for their country need. So mostly we are working with partner, very partner in that country, and the partner have the ability to get order to familiar about the bus business. Okay, there's a model in Taiwan, and all of the model from small bus to big bus, we all can convert to the control by wire and a big autonomous platform. So in Taiwan, actually, we support many of the autonomous software company to complete their autonomous project. Okay. From 2018, we joint invested with Turing. Turing is one of the Taiwan's very success autonomous company. Turing's chairman Hubert is here. Okay. So we come with work with them with many of the autonomous projects from the closed area to the open area, like a Taipei City, and in the Taoyuan also. And for overseas market, we cooperate with Navia, a French company, to find some project in Asia. Besides the vehicle and autonomous, we are major expert is the battery system. So we also support a wide range of the battery modules and the battery system, including each kind of the vehicle, and from small to big energy storage system. I think for the battery, we are, as I mentioned before, we are mainly focused on how to keep the battery a very long lifespan, because keep a very long lifespan, you can compare with the diesel. Okay, if we had the battery have a 6 years life, then the cost will cheaper than the diesel. Yeah, diesel bus. So, and also we are the Asia company, so we can supply the very good cost performance products. So I hope in future we have some cooperation with the gentlemen. Thank you.
Okay, so our last but not least speaker will be Mr. Roger Lialo. And Mr. Roger is a Vice President of Taiwan Electric and Electronic Manufacturers Association. Mr. Roger Lialo has extensive work experiences in various companies, from engineer director up to Vice President of Taiwan Electric and Electronic Manufacturers. And Roger actually plans more than 70 overseas trade exhibitions with Taiwan pavilions annually to meet the trade and marketing demands of more than 3,000 association members, manufacturers. And he's also in charge of the international relationship for TIMA with more than 50 counterparts associations all over the world. Through a nomination from TIMA in 2007, Ministry of Interior, ROC, Taiwan, awarded Roger Lialo the Best Industrial Association Staff of the Year. So welcome, Mr. Roger. And the topic is an introduction of electrical, electronic, and electric vehicle industry. Thank you.
Thank you. So first of all, allow me to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for our Lithuania friends, the kindness, the life-saving vaccine donation to Taiwan. Thank you so much. And I also would like to take a moment to thank Taicha to host this meaningful event. Give me this opportunity to promote TIMA to Lithuania friends. So my topic including three targets. The first one about TIMA, and the second one V-Team and the EV supply chain in Taiwan, and TIMA's suggestion on supply chain cooperation. About the TIMA. So actually, TIMA is was established in year 1948. That's one of the largest industrial group in Taiwan. We represent the upper, mid, and low stream of Taiwan ICT sector, I can say that. In this room, we also have a very important TIMA board member, Mr. Winner Yu. He's here, a PEC company here. And Mr. Winner Yu also is the expert in the EV sector. So after my presentation, is there any inquiry or any question about Taiwan's EV sector? Mr. Winner Yu will, on behalf of TIMA, to answer you. And the TIMA, as the ceremony master mentioned, we have more than 3,000 members. And you can see, including semiconductor sector, components sector, and the branding, global branding company, Acer. And we also have a very strong supply chain about the heavy electricity. I can say all kind of electrical electronics industry in Taiwan belong to TIMA's service sector. Let's see this chart. We can find the contribution about TIMA industry to Taiwan. According to the statistics in 2020, the production value of TIMA industry over 59% of Taiwan's total industrial performance. In terms of export value, TIMA industry also export more than one half. That's 61%, the historical high in 2020. And the TIMA member companies also need to import a lot of equipment, raw materials, and critical components. So we also import 40%, occupied 40% of Taiwan's total import last year. And this chart is more clearly, we can understand our members' structure. You can see TIMA members' products include heavy electric machinery, refrigeration and air conditioning equipment, household electric appliances, computer and peripheral, communication equipment, taste and measuring instruments, electronics finished products, electric wire and cable, illumination devices, electric devices and apparatus, semiconductors, optoelectronics products, components, batteries, automobile electronics, and the other products support this industry. You can find that why we can, Taiwan ICT sector can be so good reputation in the world. You see here, we have so many SME electronics components supply chains. So support the semiconductor industry, ICT industry to service global market. Now I would like to introduce V-Team. V-Team is one of TIMA's major, I can say, alliances or consortium. You know, 30 years ago, TIMA formed a kind of consortium. That's a notebook PC consortium. We gather the PCB maker, components maker, the panel makers, and the power supply maker, together with ITRI, the R&D institution. So we gather the knowledge and the industrial capabilities with governmental support to form notebook PC alliances. So that's the reason why Taiwan play a very essential role in the notebook PC industry. Everybody knows. Most of the notebook PC, laptop PC made in the world, made by Taiwanese people, I can say that. So now TIMA would like to enter the other era we create the so-called V team to help TIMA member company use our ICT capability transform to the EV sector. This V team established in 2013 and facilitating the integration of cross-industry players, including semiconductor, ICT, automotive electronics companies, and the researching institutions. And so far, we have 48 members, including 44 companies and 4 research institutions. These 4 institutions. And the founder is also here, Mr. Winner Yu. Okay, you can find that's a Wheating company's logo here. So my presentation now is not essential. What is important is after my presentation, please contact our members. So we know Lithuania is the hub of the Europe, just mentioned by the CM. So we would be more than happy to work with Lithuania friends to get into European market together. So this is our Wheating Alliance member structure. You can see actually the commander, Woody Du, policy advisor of TIMA, actually is the Taiwan's former deputy premier. So now he is TIMA's policy advisor. And the deputy convener is Mr. Winner Yu. And Dr. Nicky Liu is chairman of Taiwan Semiconductor Industry Association. Now is also in the meeting as the deputy conveners. We set up the 4 working groups, including autonomous vehicle working group, connected vehicle working group, electric vehicle working group, and those the other working group is to support the above 3 working group. Our service as TIMA's member companies, we need TIMA's service. So we formed this V team. We offer industry and research matching service for V team members, and we provide communication of industrial information, and also international market promotion, industrial overview, and the visiting and the communication. TIMA annually organizes more than 100, not 80, 100 overseas exhibition mission and the delegation in the world. But unfortunately, due to the pandemic situation, so I believe in the coming future, maybe next year, we need to explore the global market again with our member companies. So we will be more than happy to visit your beautiful country again, and you are also most welcome to come to our Taiwan to link with TIMA member companies. Taiwan ICT industry strength in the EV industry. Actually, everybody knows Taiwan's ICT industry, but we transfer our ICT capability to the vehicle sector. You can find vehicle cabin electronics. You can see the AUO is there, the cabin display. AUO is #1 in the world. And the sensors, now sensor actually the key technology in the EV and in the future, the so-called e-mobility. So Taiwan also has this kind of capability to serve the EV market. And the autonomy, and the communication, lighting, and the ADAS, and the IC and the electronic components, we have a strong supply chain to support the EV sector. You can find more clearly through this chart. Actually, this chart is from Italy, also our V team member. You can find LED light. We have a USI light on Delta, power window, AFS, decorator, power mirror, connector, power module, smart instrument, ACC, safety system, IC device module, etc. We know the EV, the core technology in the 3 sectors. The first one is the electric motors. The second one is power chain. The third one is battery. Taiwan is not so strong in the battery sector, but the Taiwan do have the capability in the first two. That's electric motors and power chains. So kindly work with us. Tesla, Taiwan led the successful groundwork for the Tesla supply chain. To get into Tesla supply chain is not easy, right? But since we have a certain capability and trust, so you see the powertrain here, Tesla uses ours, body electronics, telematics, battery, chargers. TIMA members can provide that. And just as I mentioned, we help our member company to explore global market. So that's in 2019, Mr. Winner Yu led our VT members to visit the Poland and the Czech. You are a good neighbor. So maybe we need to come to lead the big delegation here to Lithuania, the hub of Europe to explore the global market. Now, okay, while we visited the country, we were keeping in touch, and this seminar is just hosted last year. We visited Poland, Czech in 2019, but in 2020 we hosted the online meeting. Actually, we like to invite them to come to Taiwan and visit the Poland, Czech again, but due to the pandemic situation, so we can only do the online forum. So we also do the online forum with with Turkey and Poland. We do the online forum to help TIMA member company to keep their contact and to explore the business opportunities. Not only Europe, we also work with the largest market everybody knows, America. So we participate in the USA Summit. Suggestion. Actually, my suggestion is, please do work with TIMA member company. And we do know Lithuania is the hub of European. We can use that as a kind of a milestone. We work together, and please help us, help TIMA, and contact us, and contact our members here. In this room, everybody knows that Foxconn, Honghai is there, AUO is there,创奕is there, and the PEC is here. So contact us, and also contact me. So my suggestion is contact TIMA. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Roja. And now we have some time for the questions. I would like to ask in the audience, maybe we have some questions to our participants right now. And we have here the microphones. Does anybody have the question? I will be the first one to encourage you. So probably I would, probably this question would be maybe mostly for the Mr. Rojavan, because you are having really impressive association. And we face in Europe, as what we see, and when we speak about also electric vehicles, we have this crisis of the semiconductors, of the components lack, and so on. We also saw some kind of trend from the production perspective in Taiwan as well, but in the recent months the capacities went down. Is it, how do you feel, what is the future and what is your prediction maybe, and what are the plans of the manufacturing companies?
TIMA Managing Director, Mr. Winner Yu, will feedback this question.
Very good.
Thank you. I'm not the semiconductor specialist, sorry. But I know what is happening. Because Taiwan semiconductor is the number one, is the country is the number one worldwide. But for example, 20 years ago, maybe the gasoline car maybe used the ECU maybe just 20 or 40, but for now the 2020 standard, maybe for gasoline car maybe we have 50 to the 80 ECU. For the ECU need 7 to 10 chip. One is of MCU, some the memory, DRAM, and the flash, and the power supply, and some the communication IC and the SOIC. We are all packaged over MCU and the computing, microcomputer control the car. But in the miracle, because be smart, can try this. So maybe need over 140 ECU for each car in the near future. So we need to chip more and more. But in the next generation, for TSMC, we build a new level, maybe 3 nanometer, 5 nanometer, or 7 nanometer. But so we can't use the chip, maybe 28 nanometer, and 40 nanometer, or 55 nanometer. Maybe it's 4 years ago the technology, and then 10 years ago. But now we are developing new country. It's very advanced technique. But all, nobody to develop. But we need more and more. So shortage is reasonable. But now, TSMC, we build a new one in the China mainland, Nanking. Also, because now the number one is need the car chip in the China mainland. So maybe China mainland made new, made 28 nanometer, and some 40 60. So I guess I focus in the new future. In it, 2 years, 2 year shortage is reasonable. This is my answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Also, I maybe could also add to this question, do you have the plans of the investing of the semiconductors also and business expansion to Europe? Exactly, I mean, because now all the production you speak is in the Taiwan.
Because Taiwanese company is very strong in the semiconductor. Sometimes we can separate. Some is the memory. The number one is Korea. For example, for Samsung, Hynix, and States Micron. But the logistics is number one in the Taiwan. The logistics is not just the foundry. We need the IC design company. We need the foundry and the package. But be smart, use some of the device. We need the logical IC. So, state invite TSMC, build in one in Arizona. The Japanese invite, ask Taiwan TSMC, we build in one in Japan. But in Europe, TSMC chose Germany. Germany, yeah. So, because we organize the supply chain, so because for safety, so state ask Taiwanese case, please. So okay, he to the Arizona we build a new one. Japanese, yes, also we are building one, but now just plan building one in Germany. I know, I understand. Mister, your country need to develop the semiconductor, but our government encourages our team, also our association. I'm very happy to help you, your company develop, but here to step by step. We maybe give some idea for you how to train your students, some of your professor, established from the ICT line beginning in the factory, in the company, because supply is so long. Yeah, this is my idea.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do we have maybe questions from the chat? Here comes a question. There is a question from Charlotte Kauer. How fast can I charge with Elinta charger? So this is a question for you, Ignas.
Yeah, so if it's like European modification, one socket, one integrated cable can give output of 22 kilowatts because it's 3-phase, 32 amperes. However, in Taiwan, as I understand, as what I saw from PlugShare and some other mobile apps and platforms, that the majority of chargers are type 1. So I assume you have a little bit different grid with one phase. And if it's one phase, 32 amperes, then it goes 7.4 kilowatt output, which means like in 1 hour you can charge 7.4 kilowatt hours. And if you have, for example, in Europe, average journey per day is around 50 kilometers or up to 50 kilometers. I assume that in Taiwan can be similar because the island is not big. So 50 kilometers consume like 10 kilowatt hours. So it means like for a day trip, it would take up to 2 hours to charge, I guess. I hope you got the point what I was saying.
Thank you very much. There is also one technical question from Anonymous. How far can man TGA coach travel on a single charge? I don't know, is it probably to you, Edvardas?
Yeah, so with the single charge, at this moment, we already had some tests. So with the having 115 kilowatt hours batteries, we can reach up to 300 kilometers self-drive.
Thank you very much. So I guess we do not have more questions. And very much thank you for today. I believe we have, like someone said here already, that Taiwanese and Lithuanian businessmen, we are very dynamic. We are the country, both countries are in the challenging, actually, times and challenging neighbors. So, but this times and those neighbors always takes us out of the comfort zone, which means that we have to think faster and make the solutions better and faster, which makes us more dynamic and more result-driven. And I wish all of you the great success. Thank you very much.